Welcome, Infochino lovers. Today I'm here with Mike Whatley, ANZ Modern Consumption and Software Sales Executive from Dell.
That's right.
Mike, welcome to Compnow.
Thanks very much. Nice to see you.
Our first fireside chat.
That's right.
Yeah, we've just had a nice lunch up at the Notting Hill Hotel.
Yeah, that was good, mate.
Did you enjoy that?
Very good, yeah. Thanks for that. I had the steak.
Yeah, I had the pizza with the spicy chorizo on it. And
Yeah.
It was delicious.
There you go, it's good, mate.
But speaking of spicy, now let's talk everything APEX.
Yeah, sure thing.
So you're the lead here in Australia for APEX. Now,
That's right.
Consumption has been around for quite some time.
Yeah.
How does Dell do consumption differently to the rest of the market?
Yeah, sure. So with Dell, and we're going to talk specifically data center here.
Yes.
Right? So with Dell, we've obviously got world-leading data center assets, be it storage, be it data protection, hyperconverged server, and so on and so forth. So the view has been that we want to grow our business in the manner that customers want to grow it. So, cloud has been around for quite some time now, and so has APEX, to be fair, for several years. And what we allow our customers to do is actually consume our technologies rather than have to buy outright or put on a payment plan or whatever the technology may be. And the benefit to the customer really is that they're not paying for capacity up front that they don't need. In fact, they're not paying for capacity they don't need, full stop. And that actually means you get a great return on investment. It also means because we over-provision what we deliver to the customer, it enables them to grow as and when they need to, but only pay for that over-provisioning when they basically use the workload, switch the workload on.
Now let's break that down, right? When you say over-provision, right? So let's say we've got a PowerFlex solution.
Yeah.
Because there is an entry point, isn't there? Like there's about 150 to 200K.
160 grand Aussie.
160 grand Aussie is the entry point. And now, there are some mid-market customers that might be watching this going, well, I don't know 160K to spend, but we'll talk about other solutions later that may be a better fit in that space for you. But for mid-market to enterprise customers that are wanting to really save $1 and not CapEx a solution, but have scalability over a period of time. When you over provision, say a PowerFlex environment, how does it actually allow the customer to utilise that resource that you've delivered?
Sure thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to come along and work with Compnow and with the customer and figure out what they need day one. And we're going to set that as almost a low watermark. So whatever happens, you're going to pay for that low watermark. That's on the customer to do. But the excess capacity that we provide day one, be it compute, be it memory, be it storage, that's delivered also day one. And that's entirely Dell's risk. So if the customer doesn't use it, they don't pay for it. Of course, we load a metering tool onto the infrastructure, or the solution, I should say. And as and when they do use that extra resource, for want of a better phrase, that's when they start to pay for it. And of course, they can burst up, but they can also switch off the workload again and come back down to their low watermark.
Well, that's awesome.
Where it differs, we'll take storage as an example.
Yeah.
We're willing to deliver, call it, an unstructured data solution, PowerScale. We're willing to deliver that to site, and the customer can commit to as little as 40% of what's on the floor.
Wow.
That means there's 60% headroom to grow into.
Wow.
So that's the first thing. So you don't get that disruptive, hey, I need more resources, and then we'll turn up and we'll cable it and we'll do all that stuff. It's already there, ready to go. But you're not paying for that.
And I'm assuming to be able to do that, there'll be a sort of smart finance mechanism underpinning that. Would that be correct in saying that?
Yeah, one way to say it. So we will basically, give you a very transparent cost per gig.
Yes.
So that cost per gig is fixed for the term of the contract. So you know that if you're going to land a workload onto the solution, you know what you're going to pay for it. There's no, API fees, no egress fees, none of that sort of stuff. It's a fixed cost per gig.
Yeah, wow.
And that's fixed for the term of the solution. Something to note, though, is that as the customer grows and has a sustained growth, they can actually increase their minimum commit, let's say from 40% to 50%, 50 to 60, and that will actually lower their cost per gig as well.
Wow.
So because
it's pure consumption.
It's pure consumption.
Yeah, wow.
Absolutely.
And so effectively the monthly bill would just go up, or it would drop down.
Well, the monthly bill, if you increase your commit, will go up. But your cost per gig will come down.
Of course.
So there is actually benefit to actually growing your platform on the Dell solution.
Yeah. Can you scale down once you've scaled up?
You can't. No.
You can't. Okay. No. All right. I just thought I'd ask that question.
No such thing as a free lunch.
Even though we'd like that.
Yeah, we would.
Okay, that's really interesting, Mike. And from a Compnow perspective, it's a very channel-friendly solution. Everything gets wrapped up under one all-encompassing contract, a Flex, an APEX contract from Dell, and Compnow as your Dell Titanium partner will be able to actually bill and collect the entire solution. We leverage our own pre-sales and engineering staff to work with Mike's team to provision and architect the solution.
Yep.
We size it correctly, and then we literally press go on the order button, and you get a big block of whatever's required delivered to your co-location or private data center, and configured and turned on.
And ready to go, yeah.
That easy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing.
So there's literally, I think, 3 decision points. What's the technology that you want?
Yeah.
What's the term of the contract? And what's the amount of commit is? And that's really where, Compnow is such a great partner for us, because you guys have the skill set to actually be able to size this correctly with the customer. Now, the other thing it helps you or the customer to avoid is the need to figure out, where am I going to be in 3 years' time or 5 years' time or 4 years, and so on and so forth, because no one knows. So why commit capital up front, where you, as I said earlier, you may actually not get a return on your investment, or conversely, you might have undersized it. And no one likes to walk down the corridor to the CFO and say, that thing I said that would last us 5 years, I need some more money.
Yeah.
This is looking to remove those pain points as well.
Yeah, wow. Now that's, look, we love it. It's been in market for a while now. Things are going well, Mike.
Yes,
what industry verticals are you seeing that are really diving into APEX?
In all honesty, I can't say there's one that is not.
Right, wow,
So
okay.
you said
Love
earlier,
it.
so medium business, when I say it's 160 grand, that's the capital value. You don't actually have to spend 160 grand over the life of the contract. So I can say I've put this into hospitals, into universities, miners, local government, general corporates, and so on and so forth. So there isn't really one size or one particular vertical or customer that this goes on to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, and from a tech perspective, are you finding it's more around file-based storage or block-based storage? Are you finding it's people wanting it for unstructured data, or are they just wanting to run their hypervisors on it to manage the countless applications that CIOs are trying to manage these days?
Yeah, look, it's all of the above.
Right.
It really comes down to use case. So if you ask me to 100% unequivocally back one, I would suggest probably unstructured data, just because it's exploding so much,
Yes.
right? So we've got applications for, CCTV or body-worn cameras. We've got, that's where it grows. Also grows with medical data and images and so on. But it could be block. I've done a lot of hyper-converged on this, via VxRail or our multi-cloud nodes on, say, Azure.
Right, wow.
And data domain. So for backup, because backups, they always grow. And you can never tell how much they're going to grow.
Yeah.
So they've been very, very popular.
Yeah, now you mentioned hyperscalers, right? So I'm assuming you can run an APEX model in a hyperscaler environment in some capacity?
Yeah, so the brand APEX is going to differ slightly here when I talk about this, because APEX is an all-encompassing multi-cloud brand for us. What I've described to you there as being APEX subscriptions.
Yes.
Under APEX as well is the ability to take our software assets and run them in the hyperscaler.
Okay.
So, prime example of that would be, say, Data Domain Virtual Edition.
Yep.
You can run that software in the hyperscaler, you can procure it through Marketplace, and it's going to, dedupe and compress your data and protect your data in the hyperscaler.
Okay.
So that's one example of where we take our software assets that, have been running in the data center for many, many years, rock solid enterprise software assets, and you can actually take it to the public cloud to enhance the public cloud experience, drive out cost, but also you have the same experience on-prem to back up, in this case, as you do in the cloud.
Wow.
So from the point of view of knowledge transfer or, having to upskill, you don't really have to. It's the same software stack.
And obviously, you see AWS and you see Azure pushing their customers hard at the enterprise level.
Yeah.
And it's almost, we're talking off air about this tech fund revolution, but now with the hyperscalers.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you can use Azure credits and AWS credits to consume Dell licensing in the cloud?
Yeah, if it's available there in Marketplace, away you go.
Away you go.
Absolutely.
And what isn't available in the Marketplace?
Haven't been on for a while.
That's quite interesting. No, very, very, very good. And so that other part of your role, Mike, is very much based around software and managing software assets for large enterprises and organisations. Where are you finding really big cost savings these days for your customers by just doing things a little bit smarter?
Yeah, so I'll sort of paint a picture here.
Yeah.
With APEX, we're not coming to customers and saying, take all your workloads out of public cloud, because look, we run M365 and so on and so forth. So we run a lot of SaaS applications. What we're doing is saying it's an and conversation. So you've got workloads here, you've got workloads here. How do we stitch them together? How do we optimize where you run your workloads? But how do we give you choice? So that's kind of like the context that I'm going to draw. The other part of my role is around what we call transformational licensing agreement, or TLA.
Yes.
And what that says is that you can actually detach the software license from the Dell asset.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to take you through a scenario and perhaps you'll figure this out. Let's suggest that a customer has workloads in the cloud, workloads on-prem. This may grow, this may not, who knows what's happening. By detaching the software asset from the underlying hardware asset, you then start to get a lot of flexibility.
Right.
Firstly, we can drive a better commercial position, which is obviously important. But secondly, we allow interchangeability of software titles.
Right.
So let's just
Wow.
take data protection as an example here. Let's say you're running data domain on-prem,
Yep.
and we can actually detach the software from that, and maybe we'll include in the TLA, we can include 1 terabyte of data domain virtual edition, which protects data in the cloud.
Wow.
As this grows, we can actually swap the software titles across. So it just gives
That
customers...
is very clever.
Yeah.
Super clever.
Yeah, well, it gives customers flexibility and choice about where they want to run their workloads, where they want to deploy their software, as
Awesome.
an example.
Amazing.
So yeah, we're finding that very popular. I mean, again, the verticals, anything from large financial institutions right down to mining companies, to utilities and so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of businesses and organizations that use this.
And underpinning that, Mike, you obviously have a nice team behind you to assist, strategize and develop these solutions. What's the best way for someone that's watching this today to reach out? Obviously, you can come via Compnow. You're obviously working very closely with our team. What is the best way to engage around APEX in general?
Yeah, I think in general the first stop should be Compnow.
Yeah, okay.
Because APEX, in terms of what the customer's looking for, may be the whole solution. More likely than not, it's a part of the solution, and that's where Compnow's got fantastic professional services and pre-sales and other solutions they can deliver. That said, always happy to have a conversation with a customer and figure out what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
And we see customers, it doesn't matter, they might be saying, I do want to go all into the public cloud, but I need some time to get there.
Yeah.
That's an application. We see other customers that say, I want to stay on-prem, but I've got explosive growth.
Right.
Can you help me? Yes. Or a combination thereof. I mean, really, you're looking at, we're also dealing with a customer at the moment that's repatriating a ton of data from the public cloud.
Right.
But what we're generally seeing is people working both sides of it, like we do as well.
Yeah, interesting. Last question. I know this is very poignant, and it's about AI, because everything's about AI at the moment. Obviously, Dell are developing some of the most incredible compute nodes. Ton of GPUs built in to allow you to create large language models and run them. Can AI workloads be consumed under APEX?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, you've got the Dell AI factory built with NVIDIA and so on. So what does AI need? It needs a ton of data.
Yeah.
Where's that data going to sit, first of all? And then AI is going to need a ton of compute and GPU and so on and so forth. And the thing is, you may not be running that compute 24/7. So why are you paying to run it 24/7? Why, and so on and so forth. So yeah, absolutely. We do provide solutions around that area.
Awesome. Well, Mike, can I say it's been an absolute pleasure. First fireside chat.
Yeah,
thanks for coming in. Now, as everybody knows, Compnow provides IT custom built for your needs. If you'd like to know more about what we spoke about today, please get in touch with your Compnow account manager or email us at info@compnow.com.au. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.